If you're considering making the move to Australia for work under the subclass 482 skilled visa, you've picked an interesting time to start planning. This visa is one of the main ways skilled workers can get their foot in the door, and the skills and demand stream is especially popular for people whose expertise matches Australia's current shortages. In this update, we'll break down the latest processing times as of August 2025, so you'll know exactly what to expect before you pack your bags or hit submit on that application. I'll keep things sharp, useful, and just a touch cheeky, because let's be honest, immigration updates can feel like watching paint dry unless someone livens them up a little. Why processing times matter. Quick reality check. Applying for a visa is not exactly a joyride on the beach. It's more like a long hike with a heavy backpack filled with paperwork, deadlines, and the occasional bout of existential dread. Between filling out endless forms, waiting for updates, and refreshing your email like it owes you money, the process can feel endless. Yet, the timeline matters more than most people realize. How long it takes for your visa to be approved can completely shape your next steps in life. You might be lining up a new job, hunting for a rental, booking flights, or even wondering if your pet fish will still remember you. Knowing the latest processing times means you can plan smarter, not just harder. What is 482 skills in demand stream? Here's the quick rundown. The 482 skilled in demand, or temporary skill shortage visa, lets employers sponsor overseas workers when they cannot find local talent. The skills in demand bit means you come from a list of occupations Australia really needs. In short, you may get a faster track. That is the attraction. Now, Australia's gang of immigration folk updates processing times regularly. August 2025 brings a fresh set of numbers, so let's break them down. The August 2025 numbers, a clear snapshot. All right, as of August 2025, processing times for the 482 skills in demand stream sit roughly around these benchmarks. Around 90% of core skills stream applications are processed within 29 days to 4 months. The slowest 10 to 25% might take around 1 to 2 months. That is not word for word, but pretty close to what the Department of Home Affairs is tracking. So, if you are in the top group, you could hear back in a month and a half. If you are unlucky, it might stretch to 3 to 4 months. The labor agreement stream currently takes 90 days to 4 months, while the specialist stream takes 29 to 65 days. What changed since earlier months? If you've been following earlier updates, you might remember Q1 or mid-2025 figures showing 3 to 6 weeks for 75% of applications, and about 8 weeks for 90%. Now, there's been a small uptick. The reasons aren't mysterious. More applications coming in, some staffing changes, and possibly a rise in occupations that demand more thorough checks. It's not a major slowdown, but it's worth noting for planning. The good news? The trend isn't sharply negative. Processing remains noticeably faster than the standard 482 stream. So, if you're applying under the in-demand category, you're still in a relatively strong position compared to other applicants, even with this slight increase in waiting times. Things that can slow you down. I wish I could say, just submit your form and you're golden, but real life tends to have other plans. Delays can creep in from all directions. A small detail, like a poorly scanned passport, can nudge your application into the slow lane. If your employer sponsor has their own compliance issues or outdated paperwork, the whole process can grind to a halt. Medical examinations might take longer if the health department is dealing with a backlog, and police clearances can range from a quick formality to a drawn-out ordeal depending on your country. In rare cases, security checks can also keep you waiting, especially if you've lived in sensitive areas or share a name with someone under scrutiny. So, while the average processing time might look fine on paper, your personal journey could be very different. What you can do to stay in the fast lane. Let's be constructive and focus on actions you can actually take to help move things along. Start by submitting a clean, error-free application. Double-check every document, every form box, and make sure scans are clear. Stay in regular contact with your agent or employer if they're lodging for you. A friendly reminder can save your file from being buried in an inbox. Keep an eye on your system messages in the department's portal, as that's where they'll ask for extra information. Begin your health or police checks early, since these can take weeks. Finally, expect a few hiccups along the way, and leave yourself some buffer time to keep stress levels low and your plans on track. What if your case goes long? If you find yourself waiting longer than the average, the first thing is not to panic. Start by checking your status online, and if it appears to be truly stuck, you can ask for a progress update. In rare and extreme situations, a ministerial intervention might be an option, though it is expensive and usually unnecessary unless you are months overdue. Your employer or migration agent can sometimes give things a gentle push, as a polite reminder to the department can bring your file back into focus. Most cases do catch up eventually, but it's still wise to monitor things closely. A quick simulation scenarios. To illustrate, Case A. Jane applies with paperwork 100% correct, employer compliant. Her visa gets done in 5 weeks. She books a ticket and lands in Australia. Case B. Ahmed forgets to include his English test score, plus his sponsor missed their audit. He ends up waiting almost 12 weeks. Lesson? Details matter. Case C. Zoe has everything right, but her police clearance took ages. That pushes her out to 13 weeks. Again, early prep helps avoid that. Comparison with other visa streams. Just so you know, General 482 stream, non-in-demand, typically runs 18 to 20 weeks for 90%, while the in-demand route is noticeably quicker. Permanent skilled visas. Those can take many months, even a year. So yes, 482, even at 14 weeks, is often faster. Take that as a small victory lap for 482 in demand. At least you're not waiting 2 calendar seasons. Most people in the in-demand stream are seeing visa decisions within 4 to 7 weeks, and nearly everyone by around 10 weeks. If your case goes beyond 14 weeks, that's slower than average, but not unheard of. The slight increase over early 2025 is likely from increased applications or admin load. No alarm bells yet, and you can help the process by preparing well, getting checks early, and staying on top of communications. If visa processing was a sitcom, it'd be called The Long Wait and the Paperwork Files. Will Doris from Home Affairs ever get those extra documents? Spoiler, she will, but only after you wake up at 3 a.m. for no reason and check your email one more time. It's slow travel, and patience is your carry-on. Once that golden email lands in your inbox, it is tempting to throw your laptop out the window in celebration. Please don't. Instead, start thinking about the practical next steps. If you're already in process, tell us your timeline. Help others calibrate expectations. And before you go, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Until next time, may your forms be complete and your visa status swift. Cheers!